What is good, y'all? It is Anime K here, and we are back with another video. And today we're going to be talking about why Orochimaru wanted to be immortal. Now, there's a couple of reasons why Orochimaru wanted to be immortal. Well, matter of fact, I've probably got two reasons, and you got the obvious reason and maybe a reason that a lot of people don't look at. So the obvious reason is obviously he wanted to learn every jutsu and wanted to be the most powerful ninja of all time, and in order to learn every jutsu, obviously you're going to have to live for a long time. So that's why a lot of people, that's the main reason people know. That's why he tried to extend his life, by capturing different bodies, Kimimori, then obviously Itachi, then Sasuke, which, every single one of them failed. And then eventually now in Boruto, you see he's got a White Zetsu body, which allows him to live for a lot longer and keep that body that he has now for a lot longer without having to switch like he had to do when he had to switch his hosts every 2 years. But that's the kind of main reason people know, is basically he wanted to learn every jutsu. But I want to look at a different reason, and I think there's another reason right here, and it's kind of when the show shows his past, a bit of his past, you see him with Hiruzen. He's at his parents' grave, and a lot of people don't know, or some people may not know, that Orochimaru, his parents died during the First Great Ninja War, and Hiruzen then adopted Orochimaru, right? And Orochimaru trained under Hiruzen and eventually got put on his team with Tsunade and Jiraiya. But I think that was one reason where, maybe the starting point of Orochimaru to starting to think about death and starting to think about life. I can kind of relate to that, when there's a death in the family, when it's like your first one, or if it's your first one that hit close to home or really traumatized you. It can be seen as that traumatizing. It can make you think about death a lot, and Orochimaru, his resulted into him wanting to live longer. And another point that I want to touch on is during the Third Great Ninja War, and it's when Tsunade's brother Kawaki and Dan are both fighting in these wars, and Kawaki ends up dying on one of his kind of first missions in the ninja war. Then obviously Dan ends up dying as well, and Tsunade can't save him. And I think you kind of see Orochimaru's face, and you see he looks very shocked, and he's almost looks more paler than he does already. And I think this is another point where, because after this is when he starts kind of experimenting more, and he starts experimenting on kids in secret. And look, now all that stuff is horrific, right? And I know that, and obviously you can't let him slide for that, because obviously he did a lot of experiments on kids. But I think one of the core reasons that started Orochimaru on this path was the deaths of so many. Obviously the death of Kawaki, a little kid, and then the death of his parents when he was younger. And I think that's what kind of made him obsessed with living longer. And I think it's more, yes, he wants to learn every jutsu, but also I feel like he, under it all, has a fear of death, and it can happen with a lot of people. And even though he does still fight and he still risks his life as a ninja, he still will go out of his way to he'll go out of his way to make sure he at least has the advantage in the fight. He won't, because he at least, obviously he doesn't want to die. Obviously he does risk his life, but he'll at least make sure he has the overwhelming advantage if he can do. But look, like and subscribe, share the video, tell me what you think about this video and your thoughts, and tell me if you agree with me, and tell me if this maybe makes you feel kind of sorry for Orochimaru as a character as well. But look, this has been Anime K, and peace, I'm out.